Good afternoon, welcome to Premier League Live for our second game of the day, and after a goalless draw at Molineux earlier today to see Wolves continue their unbeaten run and Newcastle drop away from that winning run they were on, we watch an Aston Villa side who look to close the gap to the league leaders Arsenal. They could do that if they win today to just 4 points to Arsenal after they dropped points away at Nottingham Forest yesterday, and Manchester City lost means second place is up for grabs for Villa today as long as they avoid defeat. For Everton, they want to push into the top half, and they can do that if they can claim a famous away victory at Villa Park, and they haven't done so in 10 years, so it will be much awaited for David Moyes and Everton. already this weekend. As I said, a lot of teams dropping points unusually this weekend, of course, with Liverpool dropping points at home. That's pretty not unusual. West Ham beating Spurs away. Nottingham Forest holding Arsenal to a goalless draw helps them in their hope for safety, and Wolves, of course, getting a point out of Newcastle in that goalless draw earlier, and they probably had a chance or two to find a winner as well. It was a pretty intriguing 0-0 draw, an entertaining one to say the least. And a Premier League weekend where a lot of these games have been very closely knit. Only two teams have won by more than a one-goal scoreline this weekend. That was United and Chelsea. This one is certain to be another close one. And Aston Villa side have won each of their last 11 home league games, hoping they can make it 12 in a row under Unai Emery today, and against David Moyes and an experienced Everton team. Emi Martinez starts in goal for Villa. Back four of Manny Cash, Edric Konza, Pau Torres and Ian Matson are the defenders. Lamar Bogart is alongside Yuri Tielemans in midfield, with Morgan Rogers in the 10. Captain John McGinn is on the right, Emi Buendia off the left, and Ollie Watkins leads the Aston Villa line. On the bench for Unai Emery's side, Bizot, Wright, Lindelof, Digne, Garcia, Mings, Hemmings, Gimo and Evan Gersson. For Everton, well, a lot to either out through injury or at the African Cup of Nations, so a change look to Everton today. Jordan Pickford continues in goal, a back four of Nathan Patterson, James Tarkowski's alongside Jake O'Brien in defence, and Mikolenko starts at left back. Comes into midfield is Merlin Roll, the 23-year-old. He's alongside James Garner. Harrison Armstrong starts in the 10, the 18-year-old there for Everton. Dwight McNeil on the right. On the left is Jack Grealish, the former Villa player, of course, and Tierno Barry leads the Toffees line. On the bench, Travers, King, Coleman, Asnu, Welch, Campbell, Dibbling and Beto. Options if they need them off the bench, Everton, but few and far between when they only name 8 out of a possible 9, with no Iliman Njai or Drissa Gay there at AFCON, no Timmy Rabunum, Michael Keane suspended, Kieran Dewsbury Hall's out injured, as is Jared Branthwaite, and no Carlos Alcaraz as well. So a stripped David Moyes Everton side, trying to do whatever they can with whatever they have, but there's no tougher place to go in English football at the minute than Villa Park, and Aston Villa have a bit between their teeth to chase the league leaders. Who'd have thought it? Kick-off at Villa Park between Aston Villa and Everton is next. Good afternoon, welcome to our second game of the day. The first one delighted with goals, I'm sure. A goalless draw at Molineux, but hoping for a great game here at Villa Park, and I'm sure it will be. Jack Grealish back on the patch of where he started his career at Villa. Now, of course, in the opposing colours of Everton. He's been here a few times in the opposing colours of Manchester City as well. And he will be hoping he has a good day on his own and his old hunting ground. But Aston Villa team who are in some run of form, and arguably one of the best teams in the league this season, and they've got a chase on the league leaders as we get underway at Villa Park. Aston Villa, of course, in their claret and blue home strip with white shorts. Everton in their kind of pale yellow away strip. Oh, it's chance! Oh, they've hit the post! First chance of the game, and it's Roll who hits the post. It's Jordan Pickford from the back. Pumps it up the field. It's flicked on. I think Barry does get something to this, and Roll drops into it in the area and has a shot off the left-hand post within 20 seconds. And Emi Martinez gets lucky that it rebounds back into his path, but that was one hell of a beginning for Everton. First chance inside 20 seconds. Here's Rodgers. Couldn't quite link it up to Yuri Tielemans. Well, that was one hell of a shock for Aston Villa right from the death here. As I was saying, though, before that, Everton in their kind of pale yellow strip with, I don't even know if that's black shorts or blue shorts. Nonetheless, you know, it certainly won't get missed. They're like a faded highlighter, the Everton players today. Here's Tierno Barry. Out to the left-hand side for Grealish. He doesn't receive a happy reception from the home crowd. Overlapping is Mykolenko with a cross, but into the hands of Emi Martinez, who gathers. Some early pressure on Aston Villa here. Andy says, I'm a villain, we're on a run, and we believe anyone can be beat by us. We also know that you can beat us on their day too. Of course, well, yeah. I mean, that's the Premier League this season, let's be real. I mean, anybody can beat anybody in the Premier League. That's what makes the league so incredibly tight and entertaining this season. But Aston Villa, Man City and Arsenal seem to be a cut above the rest this season. They're the three that are quite comfortably the top three in the league. A good distance to, actually at the start of today, they were 7 points clear of 4th place Liverpool. These three at least. Villa and Man City were. Villa could be even further ahead of 4th place come the end of this afternoon. Tielemans pings one forward. Up into the air by Tarkowski. Doesn't get it cleared though. Picked up by Watkins, who finds it out wide to Ian Maatsen. Maatsen trying to get past his man, but nicely stopped by Patterson. He clears it away, but only as far as Tielemans. Now Pau Torres across to Ezri Konza. Back to Matty Cash. A bit of a shove there on Emi Buendia. It's going to be a free kick to Aston Villa. Dwight McNeil committing that foul. Everton come into this game, as I said, with quite a lot of players missing either through AFCON or through injury. That's a next man step up mentality at Everton, it seems, right now, because filling places, Jake O'Brien coming in at centre back, usually a full back, but he's alongside Tarkowski this evening with Michael Keane injured. Michael Keane suspended, sorry. Jared Branthwaite injured. So short on options at the back, Everton, but certainly Michael Keane is a miss. Him and Tarkowski seem to have some real good connection. Oh, that's a defensive error from Everton. A chance in the box here for Buendia. Cross. Rodgers hooks it over the crossbar. Again, it was a touch defensively that allowed Villa to have the pressure down the left. We'll see it again here. It's Maatsen from deep, and Buendia is initially offside, but the defence, I don't know who it is, it makes a touch, but he touches it into the path of Buendia, gets him back on side, and then Rodgers receives the ball from Buendia right in perfect position as you'd want it, and he just scoops it over the crossbar. Torres commanding with a header, but Tielemans couldn't keep the possession. Here's Jack Grealish. Up against Cash. McGinn dropping in too, and the ball worked back to Harrison Armstrong, who feeds it back to James Tarkowski. Back to Tarkowski. Down the line from Patterson, trying to work it towards McNeil down that right flank, but Pau Torres and Ian Maatsen have it under control, and back to Emi Martinez. He looks to find his captain in McGinn, who is well held by Mykolenko, and Grealish is there to mop up and pick up the loose ball. Finding Mykolenko. Drifting into space as Roll, but well challenged by Yuri Tielemans, and Cash finds Bogard. Held up by McGinn on the turn. Spins away from James Garner and held on to a little long there. Was McGinn. Free kick to Aston Villa. Buendia. Rodgers. To Cash. Back to Bogard. Trying to settle in their possession now, Aston Villa. After what was quite a chaotic start to the game. Conceding a chance within 20 seconds, but settled on the ball a little bit, and they've got a number of set pieces as Garner again commits the foul. Another free kick for Villa. Setting Pau Torres up for this one. On the left hand side, he's got forward. As the Villa centre back. Tielemans is over this free kick. Both Villa centre backs are up there. Ezri Konsa has made a little late dart forward to get up the fields. Tielemans goes short to Cash. Works it out wide. Rodgers round the corner. Nice little 1-2. Rodgers in space. Rodgers in the box was just taken off balance. And it's cleared away by Everton. Out for the throw-in. Again, 2 chances early doors here for Morgan Rodgers. This one, really good play between him and John McGinn. McGinn finds Rodgers in space into the box as he charges through. Was just clipped off balance and the ball got away from him, but really good pressure by Morgan Rodgers and good play between the lines between him and McGinn, but ultimately comes to nothing, and Cash stopping Jack Grealish. Everton free kick. Long kick by Pickford. Barry trying to use his physicality as Cash there was caught a little high by Armstrong. That's going to be a free kick. Yeah, Tieno Barry just held on to by Bogard, and then Harrison Armstrong tries to battle with Cash in the high boot there. He just pulls away at the last second, but it's a high boot. The referee was always going to give a free kick for that. Clear as day. Our referee this afternoon, by the way, Tony Harrington. Our VAR, Paul Howard. Easy for me to say. Pau Torres. Maatsen into Tielemans. That's one thing I love about Aston Villa. Their passing is so crisp and beautiful between the lines. It's really gorgeous to watch at times. McGinn, nice little give and go between him and Buendia, and he tries to pump it over the top towards Watkins. Was McGinn there, and Ollie Watkins, there's too much pace on that one for him to get anywhere near. Right idea, just not the right execution. Oh, sloppy ball there by O'Brien, gives it away, and here's Tielemans. Down the right hand side comes Cash. Cash trying to find Tielemans again, but well, stopped by Micholenko. Right for the throw-in. Bogard across to Konsa. Back to Lemar Bogard. 22-year-old Dutchman Lemar Bogard. He's really solidified his place in the Villa team this season in the midfield. Here come Villa down the left. Watkins breaking into the box, trying to dribble his way through it. Half cleared by Everton, only as far as Tielemans. Picked up by Bogard. Now Matty Cash. Back to John McGinn, who so often links everything up for Aston Villa. That's a lovely ball through to Rodgers. Laid off to the turning Emi Buendia, who just couldn't take it with him on the half turn. Great challenge by Maatsen to win it back. Maatsen shot straight down the throat of Pickford. Good intensity though for me and Maatsen to win it back and then have the shot right away. If he had any options, I don't think he did. Watkins was right in front of him and he had no other options, but he had the shot straight down the throat of the Everton goalkeeper. Villa intense in their press early doors here. Anison says, thanks for the watch along. Thank you very much for joining us. Andy says, Villa are in control at the moment. They are in control of the ball now. Just over 76% possession from the first 11.5 minutes. And Dennis says, I'm cheering on Everton or a draw, because any one of those results would be good for Manchester United in terms of making top 4. Well, I think in terms of top 4, I think your fight's probably with Liverpool, who are in 4th at the minute. I don't think the top 3 will be dethroned at the moment. I think Aston Villa, people are talking for the title, never mind just about making top 4. I mean, I think the title is a little bit excessive until if they win this game and go on continue on this run of form that they've been on and keep applying pressure to Arsenal, then maybe you never know. But, I mean, do they have the ability to go all the way? I don't know. They can get themselves in a race, and I mean, the title race is different from winning the title, but you never know for Villa. But I think they're more in that top 3 conversation than top 4, in my opinion, right now. I think they've got a good gap to those below them. I mean, it's, as I said, a 7-point gap coming into this game between them and Liverpool. If they extend that, it's even further. And I think City won't be at threat of being in the top 4 question come the end of the season. So I think Man United's fight is with Liverpool and Chelsea and those around them. So I think Aston Villa, whether they win or not today, is, in my opinion, irrelevant. And I see this as a Liverpool fan, albeit completely neutral for this game. But as a Liverpool fan, I see it as our fights with Man United and Chelsea and Brentford and Sunderland, which is crazy to say, but it is. That's the way the points in the table look, and unless we can pick up some form and chase the top 3, then we're in that conversation too of just trying to scrape top 4. And that's an utmost for us this season, no doubt about it. O'Brien into midfield, nice turn by Garner. Held up by Grealish. Has to go back the way though here. Not seeing any forward movement, and McGinn with a challenge. Not letting Jack Grealish out there. It's gone for a Everton throw. Yeah, really good press by Everton, or by Villa, sorry. No time for Everton to progress the ball forward at all. And this is not a good sign for Villa though. John McGinn's gone down, and he's feeling his right knee, just above his right knee. It is a major concern. That's not good. That's really not good. And of course, we saw Boubacar Kamara go down with an injury so like this at Spurs last weekend when we watched Villa win away at Spurs in the FA Cup. And that's a worry for John McGinn. We'll see how he goes. Dennis says, you don't think Villa is on contention for top 4. What I mean is, I think they will get top 4. I just don't think they will be in that mix of teams that will be scrapping for it. I don't think they've already got it, but I think they're very much in the conversation of Arsenal and City rather than Liverpool, Man United, Chelsea. That's that little group of teams below. I think the table reflects that, in my opinion. I think Villa have kept pace with Arsenal and City all season, and I think they'll stay in and around that mix. If not, maybe in a title race, maybe on their own between the top 2 and the teams below them. I think they're a solid team for Champions League football next season. I think they continue on this run, but you never know. But I do think they're well on for top 4. No doubts about that. No question in my mind right now, because I think they're just too consistent, and I don't think there's that many teams in the league this season that are consistent enough to really put on a major chase. And well, this is going to be the end of the day for John McGinn, it looks like, because he's walking down the sideline. Villa down to 10 for the moment, so we've got the game back on the way with John McGinn now off the field. But Evan Gerson it looks to be the one that's going to be coming on, just back from African Cup of Nations duty in the last few days. So he's straight back into the action, it seems, for Villa here. And another early first half injury for Aston Villa that will be a real hard one for them to take. And losing their captain will be a major blow for Aston Villa. And they're in no hurry to get any or do anything at the minute, Villa, because they're waiting on Evan Gerson to be ready. Remember, they're still down to 10, so don't want to take unnecessary risks here, Aston Villa, which you could well respect. Martinez just holding the ball in his own penalty area here under no pressure. Barry tries to press and Martinez gets it away, and Watkins trying to battle for the ball, fouling James Tarkowski. Free kick to Everton. So Evan Gerson is the one going to be coming on, and Unai Emery geeing up his players. He readies to bring him on, and in place of John McGinn. Evan Gerson, who, of course, Ivory Coast international, lost to Egypt. Did the Ivory Coast in the quarterfinals. And that was just 8 days ago. That quarter-final loss to Egypt. Came back into the mix this week and back in action for Aston Villa. Oh, that was awkward from Cash and Martinez there. A little bit awkward. Cash's header back towards Martinez, and Martinez didn't have a grab on it. Had to push it wide for the corner. Cheap corner to give away, though. I mean, it's completely unnecessary, really. Panicking there a little bit, Matty Cash. He had all the time in the world. He just panicked a little bit there. Corner to Everton here. James Garner on the left-hand side to take. Wet ball, it's deep. It's headed back down and up and away by Ian Matson to thump it clear of danger. Now, you're correct, Andy. Mo Salah did miss the pen in the shootout for Egypt in that kind of third place playoff against Nigeria yesterday. Of course, the African Cup of Nations finals tonight. Of course, Senegal or Morocco, hosts Morocco, in the final against a very good Senegal team. Mykolenko. Harrison Armstrong challenged there by Lemar Bogard. Well, this would be an interesting one to see how Villa respond to losing John McGinn. John McGinn, a key figure for this team. I said it about a few minutes ago when he links everything up for this Villa team. He's the dynamic man in the middle that can come off that right-hand side, drift inside and link things up, but he can also go down the wing and put balls into the box. He's just so much more than just a one-dimensional player, John McGinn. He's so many facets and assets to his game, and he is will be a major miss for Aston Villa for this game at least, and who knows how long after that maybe, unless they maybe just took him off to avoid the risk of it being worse. Ooh, sloppy there from Emi Buendia, given away. Here's run of roll. Barry. Tierno Barry trying to get it across. Blocked. Behind for the corner. Everton starting to get a bit of a foothold in this game now. Ever since that injury to John McGinn, it's been Everton that have maybe come back into the game. Well, they really haven't been able to kick on from there, and getting their foothold in it now are the visitors. Dwight McNeil. Left-footed delivery. It's deep. It's whipped in and struck by Grealish. Blocked at the the back post there, and it's cleared away by Villa, but only to Everton shirts. And Patterson will ping one forward out to that far side. Beaten to the header was Maatsen, and ultimately Pau Torres did the best of it and got it away for Aston Villa and out for a throw-in off an Everton player. Dennis says, no, I don't believe so. For me, top 4 position is up for grabs. As for now, my view is top 3 is Man City, Liverpool, Arsenal, not necessarily in that order. I just don't, I mean, as a Liverpool fan myself, I just don't see our consistency. I mean, I know we're 12 unbeaten and all that, and it's not the best unbeaten run. I mean, we've drew with all the newly promoted teams. We drew with Leeds twice. We drew with Sunderland. We drew with Burnley at home yesterday. I mean, we scraped past Wolves, albeit fair play to Wolves. They performed better recently, but still, I mean, I don't see our consistency being that good. So I think they will be definitely in a scrap for top 4 come the end of the season. And unless we improve massively between now and the next few weeks, I don't see us clearing away. Yesterday was our chance to really create that gap to the teams below us, and we blew it. I mean, we were 1-0 up. We could have been 2-0 up if Szoboszlai had scored that penalty, and we had the chance to go further ahead. We had the chance to create that little bit of a gap between us and Man United and the teams below us, but we only got 1 point, and we could have got 3. So I don't know. But I think we'll be in a battle for top 4. I do think we'll get it, but I just don't know if we'll be well above everyone else in getting it. Andy says McGinn gets stuck in a real team player. That does keep it all ticking. It's a bigger loss than, say, Rodgers, if you know. Yeah, I agree. To an extent, of course. Ian Maatsen breaking forward, wanted a corner. He's not going to get one, no deflection, goal kick. Yeah, McGinn is kind of the leader, the glue that keeps everything together for Aston Villa. I mean, in games, when it looks like there's no pass on, he turns on the ball, he creates an opportunity. He is so dynamic in the way that he plays that he can be a real aggressor 1 minute and a beautiful silky passer the next. That's the kind of the range of John McGinn, which cannot be understated by any stretch. Up into the air it goes. From the long kick by Pickford, and Gerson couldn't keep it. He challenged to win it back, but again, a real tussle there as Cash gets it. 24 minutes gone, and Villa just need to resettle into this game a little bit. Everton have unsettled them, for want of a better word. They've just rattled them a little bit. Kind of shook the branches, and Villa a little bit kind of out of sync at the moment. O'Brien to Grealish. Back to Jake O'Brien. Short of 25 minutes gone at Villa Park. It's goalless. Everton with a big chance inside 20 seconds when Roll hit the post. Here is Harrison Armstrong. James Garner. Michalenko back to O'Brien and all the way back to Pickford. Oh, a little bit short to Tarkovsky, and that forced him into a loose early pass. It's given away. And now Buendia finds it to Watkins. Back to Maatsen. Nobody in the middle there for Watkins, because he's meant to be the man in the middle, funnily enough. Maatsen, Rodgers, back to Ian Maatsen. Decent possession here from Villa, just keeping it in Everton's half. Just trying to reinstate that control that they had early doors here. Here's Pickford. Jesus. Matty Cash. Ezri Konza. To Matty Cash. Down the right hand side comes Evan Gerson. Just trying to get some reps, these Then this right-hand side, of course, Evan Gusson, a very different profile to John McGinn. Taller, which is one of the key ones. Taller. I don't think his passing is anywhere near as good, but he's got a different question for Mykolenko to have to deal with. But here's Jack Grealish. Chops onto the inside, has a shot deflected. Bounce back out for Mykolenko to chase, and Harrison Armstrong thought that he'd won a corner, but it's a goal kick, I believe. It is. Here is Pau Torres. Ooh, tried to play it off to Buendia, but again, not on the same page there. A little bit sloppy from Villa in the last few minutes. As I say, just looked a little bit waved. Everton having to use their physicality, their awkwardness, just to make it a little bit trickier for Aston Villa. Responded well. Dwight McNeil feeding one in behind. A bit of pressure from Patterson on Matson, and Matson deals with it well. Goal kick. Strong defending there by Ian Matson, the Villa left back, keeping Lucadinho out of the team. Ian Matson in a very strong left back position for the Dutchman. A really good option for Aston Villa. Well, the reverse fixture between these two was a goalless draw at the Hill Dickinson Stadium. And I think it was Everton's second home game of in their new stadium, a goalless draw with Aston Villa. On that day, a pretty good point. And a game that Everton dominated, really, in terms of the chances they created, and probably should have won that game, Everton, but Villa were jaded and off their boil that day. Of course, they really started slow to the campaign, Villa, and that's what's surprising. Oh, that's a giveaway. Barry couldn't make much of it. Well recovered by Lemar Bogard, but again, Villa putting themselves in awkward positions, making it difficult for themselves, and Tierno Barry was the great receiver in that one. They get a gift of a ball. Now, it's no coincidence that Aston Villa have struggled since John McGinn's gone off. Here is Manny Cash, though. He injects some energy down that right-hand side. He has. Got Villa forward. Lemar Bogard squeezing the space there were Everton, but Villa keep the possession. Wanted a foul there on Morgan Rogers, but referee says play on. Here's Buendia. Matson. Tielemans, Matson back to Yuri Tielemans. Goes through the middle. Evan Gerson made a run! And Evan Gerson had a pea shooter of a shot right at Jordan Pickford. Great ball by Yuri Tielemans. Good run by Evan Gerson. Had Mykolenko on the back foot. And he just didn't get anywhere near any sort of power on it. Evan Gerson tried to flick it a little bit there. And it came rolling right into the hands of Jordan Pickford. That was a really good ball, really good vision, and a really good run. Goal kick. Jack Grealish said that ball didn't cross the byline. I think it did. Goal kick to Aston Villa. Well, as I told you, Everton do not have a good record at all against Aston Villa in the Premier League. Their last win at all against them was the last victory at Villa Park, which was March of 2016 when they won 3-1 Everton on that day. Romelu Lukaku was on the score sheet that day, as was Aaron Lennon and Ramiro Funes Mori. I have no idea who that is, but I know Romelu Lukaku, of course, and Aaron Lennon, but that shows you how long ago that was. Almost a decade ago. Almost 10 years. March of 2016 was the last time that Everton picked up a Premier League victory against Villa. And that is a good long time ago. Villa have been relegated and promoted again. Got into Europe a number of times. I mean, a real turnaround for Villa in the last 10 years since that happened. Here comes Mykolenko. Fired over the bar. I think Martinez got something to it though. That's what it's going to see. A corner, I believe. Again, good play by Roll. And then he feeds it to Mykolenko. He shot with his left and tipped over by Martinez for the corner. Corner in which Garner will take. Goes short. Nice little 1-2 with Grealish. Garner lifting it round the back. The header is into the back of the net. Although the flag is up. The cheer from the travelling Everton fans silenced when the flag went in the air. See it here from the corner. I'm not too sure. But it's not directly from a corner, so it can be offside. And is it O'Brien there that's the last man? It looks like he's offside. Whoever that is. And it is Jacob. Oh. Is it Harrison Armstrong? Couldn't quite see, but flag went up. I couldn't actually see. I don't think Jake O'Brien's offside there. It's Harrison Armstrong that I think might be off, but he's the only one that looks offside for Everton. I think this might stand. It's Armstrong that I think's offside. I think they've marked the wrong player here. But if Harrison Armstrong gets a touch to this, then it's definitely offside. Because he was offside, but whether he gets a touch to it or not, I don't think he does. I think Jake O'Brien gets a clean touch to this. And it's about who touches it that it comes down to. And the decision is no goal because Harrison Armstrong intended to go for the ball from an offside position, therefore impacting play, and no goal. Strange. But I believe that's the explanation. Paul Howard assisted by Stuart Atwell in the VAR booth. Yeah, he didn't get a touch to it, Armstrong, but I think what the call is that because Armstrong went for the ball and was coming back from an offside position, that is why it's been disallowed. But that is a hell of a technicality if that is what it is, because David Moyes will be furious if that's the explanation, because I'm sure he will say, well, he didn't get a touch to it. And he probably is right, but that's one hell of a technicality. Well, that's one way to Villa to spring themselves back into the game. Maatsen charging into the area, drobbling back. Rodgers deflected behind by O'Brien for the corner. Impactful at one end and impactful at the other. Jake O'Brien. See it here, Ian Maatsen bursting down the left-hand side. He kind of trips up a little bit as he breaks into the area, but he keeps it alive. Is able to get that cut back towards Rodgers. He was trying to find the far corner, and Jake O'Brien got his body in the way and blocked it behind for the Villa corner. Oh, a late run here from Rodgers from the sideline. Rodgers! Good save by Pickford. I don't know if that was off the training ground or if it was a spur of the moment thing, but it was one hell of a move from Villa. Completely caught at Everton. Ball into the box here. Pickford punches away again. Under the cosh a little bit here, Everton. Villa responded really well to that disallowing of a goal. At the other ends, a real rocket up the backside of Aston Villa. It spurred them on here. Buendia cuts it back to Maatsen. Here's Rodgers. Tielemans. Down the left-hand side it comes here. Buendia cross and into the hands of Jordan Pickford, who rose comfortably. But I don't know if this was purposeful, because you see Morgan Rogers was at the sidelines and he runs late to the edge of the box from the corner. I don't know if that was intended, but if it was one hell of a tactic. No, he wasn't. He was taking a drink. I mean, that is bizarre. Short corner taken by Tielemans. It finds Rogers, who has a very good shot at it from long range. I mean, that would have been one of the strangest goals ever if that had went in. That was bizarre. As stepping in was Konza on Tierno Barry, and it's Villa throw. There's no way Austin McPhee kind of schemed that one up. Faked your best player at the moment, your most informed player, Morgan Rogers, at faking a drink so that they think he's not involved and makes a late run into the box. Or towards the box to have a shot from range. I mean, one hell of a set piece kind of instruction. Act like you're not involved, come over for a drink and then make a late run into the box. I mean, it would be unique, if anything. There's a ball in behind for Everton. Harrison Armstrong might get on the end of this. He holds it up well, and he's, at the moment, not allowed any way through by Pau Torres, but he's done well to lay it off to Grealish. Back to Garner, now Harrison Armstrong, back to Garner. 7 minutes to go with the first half here at Villa Park, still goalless. Game's ebbed and flowed throughout this first half. Neither side's really dominated for too long. Here is Grealish, tips it across. A foot came through there, I think it was Konza. Got it away. Everton on the push now. McNeil. Back to O'Brien. Plays into the middle for Garner. To switch the ball. Beautiful ball. Out to Patterson. Battling with Maatsen and Buendia. And Maatsen with the last touch. It's an Everton throw. Might go long here, Everton. And they've got the short option in Dwight McNeil if they want to use it. Taking the time in this throw. Long throw in it goes by Garner, bouncing down and up and into the hands of Emi Martinez. Any connection there, that could have been threatening as he's laid it out for a runner in Evan Gerson here. Turned back well by the backtrack and roll. And Gerson tried to spin back away from him. Goes out for a throw in off roll. He's done well in that midfield for Everton so far. Merlin Roll, the 23-year-old German. Had his injury spells already this campaign. He's on loan from Freiburg, of course, till the end of the season at Everton. They signed him on deadline day on that loan. That's nice play. Well held off by Watkins, dropping a little deeper to link it up. Now Buendia. Buendia. Not many options further as he lays it back to Tielemans. Tielemans with a cross. It's deep. It's Gerson who lifted it up off the crossbar. Not away by Everton yet. Picked up by Maatsen. Tielemans. Back to Maatsen. Four Villa players in the box as Maatsen tries to whip the cross in. Blocked to behind for the corner. Well, Evan Gerson with a chance there. See this. Buendia just lays it back to Tielemans, who waits for the option, sets it up. Gerson on the run at the back post, and it bounces off the crossbar. Jordan Pickford completely beaten. Had no chance. He was a passenger in that one, the Everton goalkeeper. I'm sure he's very happy that that crossbar reverberated otherwise. Evan Gerson's shot might have dipped in. Corner to Villa. Cash to take. Right hand side. Left footed delivery. Punched away by Pickford. Behind for another corner. As he collided with Patterson there, did Jordan Pickford. Both feeling the pain of that one as they collided. Pickford was taking no prisoners as he came crashing through to punch that one away. Ollie Watkins was up in there too. Patterson might have got whacked in the face there by the post. Well, there's one thing about this Everton team, they're gritty, physical. Let's see what they can deliver here, Villa, from another corner. Cash again. Right footed in front of the near post. Off the back of the Torres' head and cleared away by Everton. Was unorthodox. One ball forward here. Taken in by Taylor. Just about takes it down. Almost broke his own back in doing so, but he took it down. Bogard lays it back to Ian Matson. Oh, that's an awful ball. I don't know where he was going with that one. Whenever it intended to go, it didn't go. Out for the Everton throw. I didn't mean to rhyme any of that. Well, 43 minutes gone here at Villa Park. A couple of minutes of the first half to go, and neither side finding the breakthrough just yet to this point. Villa have come the closest hitting the crossbar. Everton hit the post as well inside 20 seconds, so both have had chances. Both have had glimpses of goal, but neither side have been able to find a way past the opposing goalkeeper just yet. As here come Everton on the breakaway. Micholenko lays it out wide to Grealish. Grealish chops onto his right foot. Tries to shoot. Well blocked by Cash. He's done that many a time here at Villa Park. Cut in from that left side onto his right foot and shooting towards goal, but he was well covered by Matty Cash. Behind for the corner. Going for the corner, but there's an Everton player down. Tarkowski. It's Pau Torres that was in the mix here. We'll see this again. The corner was ready to be taken. Pau Torres just kind of puts his arm around the shoulder, around the neck of Tarkowski. Marking a little bit of each other there. We'll see it. Getting handsy, the two of them again. Corner goes short from Everton. Edge of the box here. Micholenko's left. Didn't get any left on it. Cleared away. As he does well to retrieve it again though. Garner trying to change the angle. Whips it across. It's bobbling around the back. Is one for Tarkowski to chase. Trying to whip it in first time. Blocked by Buendia. Out for the Everton throw. As the 45 minutes come to a conclusion, 3 minutes are held up by the fourth official. 3 added minutes at the end of this first half. Well, since the 5-goal thriller here at Villa Park last season between these two, which Villa won 3-2 from 2-0 down, there's been just 1 goal in the last 2 Premier League games between these two. A 1-0 Villa win at Goodison last season, and a new goalless draw at Hill Dickinson this season. And half-time coming close here. Looks like more of the same between these two in recent meetings. That was nice work from Watkins to occupy Tarkowski trying to clear it, but in the end, Villa hamper possession, although that's a good battle back by Rodgers. Tussling to keep it in play. O'Brien sees it bounce back in play and he's trying to shield this one as Rodgers gets too physical. Free kick to Everton. Again, both teams giving as good as they've got at the minute. Nothing to separate them so far. I think Villa have responded well to that little wobble they had in the middle of the half. They've created some good chances since, but Everton as well have looked a threat. This game, at the minute, hangs in the balance. The first goal will be crucial. Massive in this game, whoever gets it. Pickford to take this free kick. Hoofed up the field, got some power behind it, that one. And it bounces out on that far side for a Villa throw. Well, both sides don't have many options off the bench either as well. In an attacking sense, I mean, Aston Villa, Evan Gerson was probably their only real good attacking option off the bench. Most of them are either young players or defenders. And for Everton, well, they do have the likes of maybe Tyler Dibbling who can come off the bench and make a difference, and Beto. Other than that, not much experience there elsewhere for Everton too. So both sides stretched a little bit when it comes to players and options off the bench. And that'll be something to talk about in the second half, whether one will take a punt on a young player or a different option. As Pickford will take this goal kick, should be end of the half in a second or so. A bouncing ball out for a throw-in on the far left side. And no more time in this first half. The half-time whistle called by the referee. And a game that is been intriguing. Both sides have hit the woodwork in the first half. Both have had chances to take the lead, but so far neither side able to find the breakthrough up to this point. Albeit Everton did have the ball in the back of the net through Jake O'Brien, but deemed to be offside from Harrison Armstrong in the build-up. That will be a conversation to be had. But ultimately, neither side able to find a way past the other at the break. Half-time, it's Aston Villa 0, Everton 0. Sure, one last kick. This is going to be it. This is the moment. Vicario kicks this. And Liverpool are there. Liverpool are Premier League champions. And there it comes. Crystal Palace, for the very first time in their history, are FA Cup winners. Oh, he's found the net. Oh, what a goal! Kvaratskhelia is through, wants to add a fourth, and does so. Ahmad, oh my goodness me! That is absolutely unbelievable. Rice again. Oh! You thought he couldn't beat the first one. He's gone and bettered it. Another whip ball in. The header is in by Virgil van Dijk. Incredible. Welcome back to Premier League Live. Half time at Villa Park. It's goalless between Aston Villa and Everton, and it looks like there might be 3 Premier League 0-0 draws in a row. Quite fantastically, back-to-back ones today, but we're 45 minutes away from that being possible, and that being the case. In the first half, both sides have come close to finding the net. Evan Gerson hitting the crossbar for Aston Villa, and Everton hitting the post within 20 seconds with Merlin Rolls. So 2 big chances, and amongst others, of course, Everton had the ball into the back of the net. And a bit of a conversation as to why that Everton goal that was given initially on the field was disallowed then for offside. The call is that they believe that Harrison Armstrong was impeding an opponent and therefore from an offside position cannot be involved, and that's why it was disallowed. I'll get you the full confirmation of that and the reasoning behind that in a moment, but that is what I've gathered from what was explained. So the call is this. The referee's call of no goal was checked and confirmed by VAR, with it deemed that Armstrong interfered with an opponent's ability to play the ball from an offside position. So therefore, in the rules, you can't do that, and that is why it was disallowed, albeit Harrison Armstrong never touched the ball, nor put the ball into the back of the net, but did impede a goalkeeper, a player, an opposing player, in trying to get to the ball, therefore doing so from an offside position, which means he shouldn't be involved in impacting play from an offside position, which will be disallowed. So that's why it was ruled out. Controversial, I know, and I'm sure I can guarantee you that David Moyes will not take that explanation happily. But a first half that I think Everton could be pretty happy with, in the aspect of they haven't been completely hounded in. They've had a couple of close shaves with Aston Villa, and I think Villa, on the other hand, have had some close shaves themselves. So both teams will say that they probably could have been behind in that first half, but they also could be ahead. So there's kind of that. It ebbed and flowed that first half. Neither side really dominated the game for the whole of the first half. So I think they'll both take the goalless draw at half-time and then come out in the second half and try and win the game, which I think is very well within the realms of possibility that both sides could do. We will see the second half in just a moment. A reminder for you, though, Champions League football is back this week, and we have got 2 great games for you to come. On Tuesday night, we watch Inter Milan host Arsenal. That's on Tuesday night amongst 7 other fixtures that are taking place on Tuesday night. And then on Wednesday night, Liverpool's trip to Marseille. Can Liverpool keep their unbeaten run in all competitions ongoing and keep it with a good position to go further in the Champions League? That's Wednesday, 8 o'clock on LFS. And of course, that is the final separate match days of the Champions League phase. That's match day 7. Match day 8, of course, will be in a week following, which is all on one night, one big Wednesday night of 18 games, all taking place at the one time, which will be one hell of a night, and I can't wait for that as well. Second half at Villa Park is on the way next. Welcome back to Premier League Live. Second half at Villa Park on the way as the players re-emerge from the tunnel. Don't forget to like, subscribe and turn on post notifications if you haven't done so already. That would be greatly appreciated. And thank you all for joining us this Sunday afternoon. So far you haven't been treated to any goals, but surely we'll get some in the second half here of this game. Let's hope so. Certainly indeed. And what has been, albeit I have to say, 2 games that haven't had any goals in it today, but 2 games that have been very interesting to watch. I gotta be honest. Very interesting to watch. Let's see what's on offer. Villa kicking from right to left. Everton from left to right in the second half. It will be Villa that's going to get us going for the second period when Tony Harrington blows his whistle. Taking us time. And we're off and running again for the second half at Villa Park. First half that ebbed and flowed. Both sides had their spells, both sides had their chances, but neither side able to take them. And up to this point, that's why we stand at 0-0. A game that could go either way between now and the final whistle. And on a weekend where nearly all the teams in the top half have dropped points. Arsenal drawing, City losing, Liverpool drawing. Can Villa join those teams in the top four? Unable to take full advantage of their respective games this weekend. Throw in for Everton here down the left. No changes, by the way, at half time for either team. Throw down the line here for Everton. Villa with the first two contacts to it. They've moved the ball really nicely into a position for Emi Buendia to break away. And he was hacked down to the ground, but it's going to be a free kick and a yellow card for James Garner. He just came through the back of Emi Buendia there, Garner. Yeah, definitely a foul and definitely a yellow card for the Everton midfielder. His fifth of the season. And a free kick for Aston Villa. I wonder what Unai Emery would have done to his side to readjust, because they looked a little bit unbalanced whenever Evan Gerson come on in that first half, and they really struggled to kind of link things up in the final third up until that final few minutes. But whether he's going to try and rejig things a little bit, and he is a man who very much can tweak and adjust things to get his players in the best positions. Unai Emery, as he watches on. Watkins does well to drop deep to win it back. Here's Martin. Tielemans. Oh, roll of the ball back out wide to Martin. And in no rush, whips it back to Pau Torres and across to Ezri Konsa. Challenged was Bogard as he was shielding the ball, and Jack Grealish giving away the foul this time. Free kick to Villa, which they take quickly. And Ollie Watkins, the fewest touches of any player in the match. It's less than John McGinn and Evan Gerson, who both didn't play out the whole of the first half. One came off the bench and one went off injured, so shows you how little involved Ollie Watkins has been tonight for Aston Villa. How well Everton have done to isolate him out of this game. That's nice from Maatsen, linking it up there with Watkins. Back to Maatsen, who broke forward and upended was Buendia. Fairly, says the referee that time, and the referee did get in the way of that. Ultimately, well, he's really lost a little bit of control there, the referee. Arguing about a foul a little earlier on Buendia. He's just got back to his feet. We'll see this again. Matson well battled, and then, oh yeah, it's a fair challenge, I think. Patterson got there ahead of Emi Buendia. Excuse me. And then Patterson was taken down by Rodgers. Oh. Loss of the ball in the middle by Grealish. Picked up by Tielemans. Lovely ball by Buendia. Finds Ollie Watkins. Watkins cuts inside. Blocked with a shot there. Back to Ian Maatsen. The crowd rising to their feet again. Tielemans. Bogard. Down the right hand side comes Cash. Ball into the box. Flick on header. Is wide by Yuri Tielemans. Much better from Aston Villa. Again, moving the ball from left to right, finding cash and space down that right channel, lofting it in with his left foot. And Youri Tielemans rises up, glances it towards goal and just zips wide of that right post. Really good play by Villa. Just lacking the finish from Youri Tielemans ultimately in the accuracy, but that once again has reignited Villa Park, which is a dangerous place when uplifted by their own team. That's a nice step in by Maatsen, although it's going to be pulled back for a foul earlier in the play. A free kick to Everton. Well, as I say, this game needs a goal. Not because it's a poor game, it's the fact that I just think we get a goal, this game could completely burst into chaos. Already it's been teetering on the edge of that with a couple of chances that we've had in the game, but this feels like a game that could spark into life and become a real classic if we get that opening goal soon. From either team, that is. Buendia, lovely turn on the ball, and he's found Rodgers in space, surrounded by three. Rodgers not given the time to shoot and actually fell down as he entered towards the area, but nicely won back again by Villa. Cash, Rodgers, cross blocked, and away. And Morgan Rodgers, as he strode towards the box, he'd three in front of him, but he didn't want to shoot, and he'd no real passing option, so he just kind of done nothing. And as he rode towards the box, he just fell away, really. And the chance really clogged up. Bogard, loose ball across the midfield there. Maatsen was alert in the second time, just about recovered with Pau Torres, but that was a risky ball by Lemar Bogard. Here is Maatsen again. Villa trying to impose themselves on Everton, but Maatsen to Tielemans, and Tielemans was waiting for that. No communication there between the two of them. And Tierno Barry wins his header, finding Harrison Armstrong, which now feeds it to Grealish. Back to Armstrong as Grealish was fouled, but referee says play on. Armstrong back into the midfield. Garner will shoot from range and shoots quite a distance over the bar. Wasteful, I've got to say there, from the visitors. I mean, having a shot from 30-40 yards is just idiotic, really. From that sort of position, it just seemed a bit silly from Everton. And here is Emi Martinez. Long with his pass. Watkins was the target. He won his header, but it's brought down by Bogard and a little bit loose. And Everton pinging it around here. 1-2 touch passing and a loose ball snatched upon by Cash. Which allows Villa back in possession. Tielemans spread wide down the left. Here's Ian Maatsen. He's always got an option on down this side. He's just going to lay it back in field to Buendia. Skips away from his man. Emi Buendia's coming to life in this game in the second half so far. Couple of decent opportunities. Bogard held it up nicely, finds Watkins. Maatsen. Nice 1-2 to Watkins, who tries the cross, but again, no one in the mix. That was too close to Jordan Pickford anyway, who gathers, but again, Watkins coming wide. There's no one filling that space in the middle. It's happened a few times in this game. And I get Ollie Watkins coming wide to try and receive the ball off Maatsen, but if he does that, someone then needs to fill the gap that he's leaving in the middle, which I would suspect should be either a Morgan Rodgers or an Emi Buendia, but neither really making those gut-busting runs into the area if Watkins does come wide, which just makes it completely ineffective for Villa because there's no one on the end of that cross. Konsa. Nice direct ball through the middle. Buendia lays it in for Evan Gerson to run, but well muscled was Jake O'Brien, who was able to clear it away and out for the throw for Aston Villa. Nice Route 1 football though from Villa. Right up the spine of the Everton team, and unable to, in the end, find it. Evan Gerson held it there, couldn't quite get it to Cash as it was nipped away by Everton. Right on the touchline is Grealish, who was well challenged by Lemar Bogard, who then went down, and then Grealish went down after him, and it's Jack Grealish that wins the free kick. And a yellow card as well for Lemar Bogard. The referee putting out the yellow. Yeah, he comes right through the back of Jack Grealish there. And my goodness me, what has just happened? Pau Torres with an awful mistake. And he pays the price. It looked like his goalkeeper was going to save it. He parried it back out into the path of Tierno Barry, who's there to loop it into the net. See it here, Pickford's long ball. Konza gets away with one a little bit earlier against Barry. He plays it across to Pau Torres, who, don't know whether he was trying to get it under control and then play the pass first time, but whatever he does, it doesn't work. It finds its way. McNeil with a shot. Martinez makes the save. He spells it out into the path of Barry, and Tierno Barry loops it over the goalkeeper, and it tucks into that far corner. looped up and in. And despite his best efforts there, Ezri Konsa couldn't keep it out of the net. Aston Villa 0, Everton 1. Well, this is a real turn-up for the... I don't know what's happened with that mic again. Strange. But what a turn-up for the books this is. And Everton take the lead. Yeah, the microphone's weird there. It muted itself for some weird reason. It's done it twice. Not too sure what that's about. But nonetheless, Everton take the lead. And I said this game, I have said it. It could burst in. I think I know what it is. It's a key that's changing. It's muting it. I need to fix that. Oh, here's a chance again. Villa on the loose one there. Now here come Aston Villa on the breakaway. This game turning nuts. Ollie Watkins couldn't quite get it off his man, and it's caught by Jordan Pickford. They wanted a back pass on that one, but they're not going to get it for that. Oh. Strange this, because it's saying that that's really weird. Interesting. Yeah, every time I press shift, it's muting my mic, which is not the keybind. And when I press, could be number lock maybe. That's what it is. I fixed it. That was strange. Everton do lead. That's completely messed up my commentary of that goal. Nonetheless, it's 1-0 to Everton, and again, all of their own doing there, Villa. "62 minutes gone, and Villa now with a deficit to try and overcome." Here comes Emi Buendia. Didn't find an option, but spun back to find Ian Maatsen off the left. To Yuri Tielemans. Shot blocked well by Roll. Out for the Villa throw. Well, now with Everton in the lead, will they just set back a little deeper? Will they just try and soak up the pressure and see this one out? Or will they just... I don't know what Everton decide to do. I think it's a little early to try and sit deep and try and see it out now, but you have to be more defensively solid to make sure that you don't give up a chance to let Villa back into the game. A long clearance here. Ezri Konsa on the chase. Pau Torres too. Tierno Barry in the mix, and Pau Torres does see it out for the throw, but it will be an Everton throw. So he had the last touch. Well, now Unai Emery's got a task on his hands. What can he get his team to do to try and find a way back in this game? An unbeaten run against Everton that dates back almost a decade. It's a consistent run that's kept since Villa were last promoted back to the Premier League. And they trail with 27 minutes to go by a goal to nil. Long ball deep into the area from the long throw. Flicked on and into the hands of Martinez from Tierno Barry. He's come alive in this game, Tierno Barry. A slip there, and Ian Maatsen's kind of went over a little awkwardly. Seems like Villa are faltering at the minute. They look really all over the place at the minute. They've been rattled once again by Everton, and this time rattled by a goal. As I said, 9 3/4 years since Everton last won against Villa, and it was at Villa Park. And they're wanting to get back to winning ways after losing 2 of their last 3 games in all comps. Actually, 3 of the last 3 games have been at home. Their last victory was away from home in a 2-0 victory over Forest for Everton. Here is Ian Maatsen down the left for Villa. Back inside to Tielemans. Tielemans lifting it round the back. Cash across. He cut it back. Gerson got something. Shot from Rodgers is over the bar. Not falling for Villa right now. Not falling for them at all. Again, Tielemans' great ball round the back. Cash, first time, got round the back of the defender and cut it back. Gerson got something to it to try and lay it off to Morgan Rodgers. And Rodgers struck it well away from goal, right up into the stand. And England coach watching on, Thomas Tuchel. .25 to go. And Villa in rescue mode here. In a moment they're trying to hang on there as Cedric Konsa just about got it that away, and Maatsen winning a free kick. Rolling around a little bit, but I think it's just a free kick. Seems to be in real pain, Ian Maatsen here though. Seems to be genuine this. It's left ankle that seems to be the one causing him issue. Ooh. Roll a little bit. Oh, but dangerous that challenge. Oh, he comes right down the back of him. Oh, sore one, that one. It's okay, Ian Maatsen, but it's a really painful one, that. Konsa into the middle. Reverse ball by Watkins. Finds its way to Rodgers. Well challenged. Fantastic challenge. Grealish tried to ping it in behind for Barry. Well blocked by Ezri Konsa. It's a real toss-up now, which Everton wanted to be. All up towards Barry, who is actually going to get and give away a free kick. Now he's gone down complaining as the Everton goal scorer. Well, Aston Villa are unbeaten in all 13 of their Premier League games against Everton since their return to the division in 2019 when they were last promoted. They've won 9 and drawn 4. That record is at risk here this afternoon. And Everton, they've lost each of their last 4 Premier League away games against Villa. Their longest losing run at Villa Park since a 6-game losing run between October 1995 and April 2001. Tierno Barry back to his feet and okay. Villa will get the free kick here. Just inside their own half. Ezri Konsa takes it short to Pau Torres. Here comes Maatsen down the left. Bricks into the box. Ball across. Watkins. Rodgers too was in there. Blocked away. Tielemans stretching to keep it alive. Buendia now finds Maatsen. Fires it across and Rodgers gets round it, but he again strikes it well over the crossbar. He's had a multitude of chances today, Morgan Rodgers, and every single one of them has gone skied over the crossbar. Big opportunities not taken, and this is not the game he wants it to be. His 100th game in all competitions for Aston Villa. Well, there's not the way he wants this game to go. Missing massive chances galore. Now Villa will go to their bench in a moment. Up and in the air by Watkins. Chased in by Buendia, who tried to feed the ball back to his teammate. As Tielemans skipped out of the way of that challenge, and it's given to Roll. Roll, who runs into trouble in Bogard, and Maatsen tussling, winning his tussle, breaking forward Ian Maatsen. He's got options ahead of him. Maatsen rolls it into the path of Rodgers, linking it up with Watkins. Back now with Buendia. Now Watkins off the left, onto the course of Rodgers. Rodgers just let it skip away from him. Tielemans now keeping the pressure on here, Villa. Cash back to Bogard. Told to shoot by the crowd, but lays it off to Maatsen. Now Buendia. Slipped a little bit there on his studs, but Buendia keeps going. Now Pau Torres. I don't need to keep this intensity. Pau Torres tries to ping it towards Gerson, but it's laid off by Bogard. Now Cash chops onto his left. Back to Bogard. Out wide on the right it comes. Whip ball in, bouncing all the way through. And hooked over the top by Patterson for the corner. And they're checking for a possible penalty, are they? Let's see it again. All across. Is there a handball in there somewhere? I don't think there is. Don't think there's anything in that off Jake O'Brien. And it will be a corner just to Aston Villa. I think that's the correct decision. Didn't see any issue there. Corner to Villa then, right hand side. Everybody back for Everton. Goes short with the corner. Buendia. Back to Maatsen, who loops it into the area. Up and away, only as far as Bogard. Falls to Rodgers, who clocks it out. Oh, what a save by Jordan Pickford. That was arrowing towards the corner. And Pickford with a unbelievable save to deny Morgan Rodgers. His best hit of the day for Rodgers, and he was curling in. And Jordan Pickford got his arm to it, stretching as far as he could up into the air. And puts it over the top. Big save. Corner to Aston Villa. And Villa made those substitutions. Luca Digne is on. And he's replaced Ian Maatsen. And the second substitution is going to see Lemar Bogard replaced by George Hemmings, the 53-year-old making his home debut. Or 53-year-old, number 53, making his home debut for Villa. Ball whipped in from the corner, cleared about the near post. Picked up by Cash. Digne will whip it in again. Across, Konsa was in there too. Stretching was Tielemans, and Konsa's effort deflected off O'Brien, behind for another corner. Villa really trying to pile on the pressure here. Matty Cash to take the corner. Left hand side. Villa from the crowd. Cash's corner. Straight into the hands of Jordan Pickford. Well, that was one hell of a tough pressure moment that Everton had to ride their way through without damage being done, and they did. And now they're on the breakaway themselves, but the flag's going to go well up against Jack Grealish there. Or actually Harrison Armstrong. And it's a free kick to Villa. Well, this is what his team needs, to pile on the pressure on Everton if they want back into this. David Moyes' Everton don't give up chances easily. And so far, Villa have had to work for anything they've got in this game, and so far they haven't been able to find the net, which is a very unusual outcome here at Villa Park for Aston Villa. Flip ball into the area. Buendia was close, but not quite there. Hemmings, come on for Bogard. Couldn't quite win the challenge. Everton in no rush to move anywhere, but a possession. Garner in behind, looking for the run of Harrison Armstrong, who gets it across and needed a touch in there from Ezri Konsa to get it away, but another bit of a dangerous moment for Everton on the breakaway there. Rodgers on the half-turn blocked as he went through, but no foul. And he came in late on his man. That's going to be an Everton free kick. Jack Grealish, the one that was fouled there. Frustrating for Morgan Rodgers, but it wasn't a foul. And the frustration released by committing a challenge afterwards. He slipped as he done it there, though, to be fair to him. 15 minutes to go. Aston Villa 0, Everton 1. As it stands, all of the top four will have not won this weekend. It would mean 17th place Forest held Arsenal to a draw. Man United beat City in the derby. Villa were beaten by what would be 10th place Everton, and Liverpool would have been held by 19th place Burnley. And two of those top four teams held at home, Villa and Liverpool, and the other two away. But at the moment, all of the top four teams failing to pick up victory this weekend, and all of the bottom five avoiding defeat. That looks to be the way it's going. One hell of a weekend for the whole of the Premier League to bunch up a little bit more. So McNeil and James Garner over this Everton free kick. McNeil steps away, so it's Garner will take. Right-footed. It's deep. And it's too deep. Goal kick. Villa running out of time. There is still a lot of time left, but it's starting to tick away from them. Time is of the essence for the home team. Emi Martinez taking his time. Rolls it out to Ezri Konsa. Now Rodgers, nice reverse ball to find Hemmings, who breaks away from a challenge, and Hemmings is breaking forward. Hemmings wants a shot. Well charged down and blocked. And cleared away by Everton. Emi Buendia. Stepping inside, finding Tielemans. Back to Konsa. Directly through to Rodgers, laid it off to Hemmings. Now Buendia went down. Referee said no foul, he got all ball. Villa back on it again with Rodgers, who tried to find the ball out wide, and a miscommunication between him and Matty Cash sees it go for an Everton throw. Handy says competitive league from the bottom to the top is what we want anyway. Don't want any team to yeah, I think the closer the league is, the better. Here it comes from Villa again into the box and scrambled away, as I think that was Watkins that fell to the ground. Claiming for anything there, the Villa fans, but looked like he just lost his balance. If anything, Tielemans. Hemmings. Rodgers. Challenged well by Jack Grealish. Right for the throw. Taken quickly. Hemmings. Just left it back to his goalkeeper. Villa throw all they can forward here to try and get back into this game. They've got nothing to lose. That's a lovely little turn on the heel by Buendia, who's opened the space and has a shot from the edge, but blocked well by Tarkovsky, and it's put Villa in an awkward position here because they have a lot of players up the field. Oh, the slip there down the left is going to dispossess Tierno Barry, and it's going to get Villa back on the ball. Tielemans. Rodgers. Not quite finding it through the lines. Blocked again. This is one hell of a battle from Everton. I think in the second half they've played Villa really, really well. Switch ball there by Pau Torres. Oh, lovely little touch by Cash. Cash across, no one there again. Tarkowski clears it away. Villa, in this final third, they're getting into great positions, but their decision making is really poor. On a few occasions, they've made some passes, some crosses to no one. And they're making runs that they're not picking up from the wide areas and options as it's scrambling back to Jordan Pickford. 10 minutes to go. Time running away from Aston Villa. Everton can't make it go any quicker. They lead by a goal to nil and could scramble a big 1-0 victory away at Villa Park. Tielemans absolutely pings one out to Luca Digne, who lofts it round the back. Header was away, only as far as Rodgers. Across, bounces off the head of Buendia. Overhead kick by Digne is into the hands of Jordan Pickford. All the pressure, just unable to get on the end of it. They've got it back again, Aston Villa. Watkins lays it off to Buendia with a heavy touch. Loses the ball. McNeil. All to Barry. Now down the left is Grealish. To go back the way. And a challenge by Hemmings. Free kick to Jack Grealish and Everton. I've got to say, James Garner played one hell of a game. One hell of a game, but some would argue that he shouldn't be on the pitch, but I'm not going to go down that path right now. It looks like Beto's getting ready to come on for Everton very shortly. And they're taking their time with this free kick. Long ball over the top by O'Brien. Header away by Cash, but Everton take it down. Just popping it around now, and no rush to get into the Villa box. And that was a poor ball by Tarkowski, really. Just gave the ball away, or sorry, O'Brien, and then the foul given against Everton. Evan Gerson with the free kick for Aston Villa. So, change incoming then for Everton. It's going to see Tierno Barry replaced by Beto. And Tierno Barry at the moment will be delivering a big 3 points for Everton on the road away at Aston Villa. Pouncing upon a spill by Emi Martinez, the Villa goalkeeper. Looping it into the far corner. Give Everton the lead. And it would be a 3 points that would push Everton up into the top half of the table. Here's Pau Torres. Tried to cross, but he hit it right at Emi Buendia. Tired legs, tired minds from Aston Villa. There's Pau Torres battling. And they wanted a throw in there, Aston Villa. They're not going to get it. Given as an Everton throw. I have to say, the referee's not very popular inside Villa Park. They feel that he's really not given them very much today, let's just say. Nathan Patterson to take this throw for Everton. Digne won the header, but Everton win the second and the third ball. But Villa scramble it back. Rodgers laid it into space for Watkins. He tries to break forward, tussling and bustling, but he keeps the ball, Watkins. And then an awful pass towards Emi Buendia that loops out for a throw. I mean, they look exhausted, Aston Villa. Absolutely exhausted. Long through by Patterson. Tielemans. Digne. Pau Torres won the header as well. Taken in by Hemmings. Not many options as everybody's shifted over to that left-hand side. Very congested as Pau Torres has it. Now look at Digne. Turned by Buendia. Now finds Tielemans. Pops one forward again, but it's forceful, wasteful and desperate from Aston Villa. And that was, again, another moment to forget. Now, not happy faces inside Villa Park. Albeit, take it with a pinch of salt. You're third in the Premier League and you're level on points with Manchester City. But at the same time, I can understand that this was an opportunity for them to push even further ahead and take the grasp of this game. But John McGinn getting injured, the way they conceded the goal, I mean, it's just been one of those off days for Aston Villa, and a day that really just hasn't gone their way at all. And Everton, credit to them, Everton have been now on fantastic, especially in the second half. Really physical with Villa, not giving them an easy option at all. Pau Torres pops one forward into the box. Evan Gerson got his head to it. And that was the last contact. Went wide, goal kick. Another reminder for you, we've Champions League action in midweek. Inter against Arsenal is our Tuesday offering in the Champions League. And then on Wednesday night, we watch Liverpool head to Marseille at two Premier League teams on the road in Europe this midweek. Tuesday and Wednesday at 8 o'clock. Bouncing ball here. Rodgers steps onto it. Buendia takes it down, trying to flick it towards Rodgers, but well shielded and blocked away by Everton again, and Tarkowski thumps it long. Beto trying to hold it up, but Pau Torres out muscling him only for a second. There was Beto, wins it back, and he's bursting away. Keeping a hold of him was Hemmings, and Hemmings tried to challenge him, and in the end, Beto with the last touch. Hemmings did just enough to put him off. Out for the goal kick. Yeah, Hemmings just grappling and hauling it. Beto, he didn't really grab him, and then he tripped over himself, which in the end, inadvertently, put Beto off, and it goes behind for a goal kick. Ezri Konsa has the ball, but he's got no options. Very little movement in front of him. Tielemans, a little bit of space. And the right, Cash takes a lovely touch inside. He preempts the challenge. Buendia tries to hold it off and cleared away only as far as Rodgers. Takes it in a stride. Cash flicks it into the area. No one in there. Away it goes, and further away by Everton. They're playing some incredible performance in their own box. Scrambling and clearing everything that comes their way. Rodgers tried to hold it up, but was challenged well. And Everton are doing the ultimate stagnation job. And desperate are Villa, throwing challenges in everywhere and give away a free kick. That's exactly what Everton wanted. And that's exactly what they got. Free kick. Grealish was down as well too. David Moyes. I mean, like he never left. Everton are playing in his image once again. It is one of those throwback type performances from Everton. Get physical, play hard, strong defensively, give nothing up in your own box, and nick a goal from complete craziness to win a 1-0 away from home. I mean, that is as Everton as it comes. Seconds remain in the 90 minutes. We'll see how long will be added on. That ball from Pickford's gone out of play. Still chance here for Villa. If they can put together one big move, one good pass and play, one attack and action that can really threaten. They've got quality up there to strike, but it's about finding them in the right positions, in the right place, and with the right opportunity. 4 added minutes. Caoimhan's had the ball, lost the ball, gives away a foul to Jack Grealish. I think James Garner's just been given player of the match, and you can't really argue. I mean, he's been fantastic in this second half, especially. I think he's been really strong. He's embodied exactly what Everton have done today. Dominated challenges, tackled really well, strong, physical, and well fought. Ball pops up into the air. Pau Torres wins the header, followed up by Tielemans. That's going to be a free kick. Dwight McNeil winning the free kick for Everton there, and Emi Buendia said he didn't do much. Referee disagrees. Frustration from Aston Villa. 2.5 minutes remain. They trail by a goal to nil. And Everton in no major hurry at all. They might have dominated possession, shots on target, XG, corners. But they didn't take their chances, Villa. And Everton took their one really major chance that was basically came from an Aston Villa mistake. And that pounced upon. Garner turns back onto the ball, and Rodgers now penalised for a foul. They've been really sloppy, Aston Villa, I gotta say. They've played into the hands of Everton here in the last 5 minutes, giving away foul after foul after foul, and that's all Everton want. Break the game apart, slow the game down, and give Villa absolutely no glimmer of a chance around the goal. Win free kicks and run the clock down. Free kick to Villa here. One last chance, maybe. Digne. Back to Torres, a little bit wayward that ball, and a little bit nervy here from Pau Torres as he finds Ezri Konsa. 1 more minute to go. They're a little bit tentative here, Villa. We need to pop it forward, try and find something. Long ball from Tielemans. Black on header is off target from Emi Buendia. My goodness me, that was a chance. That came from nothing. Tielemans forward and Buendia flicks it on, and it was going towards goal. That one would have been one hell of a goal from nothing. It just skipped away. Oh my goodness. I told you. Head it forward and anything can happen. Never know. That was probably the chance, though. And this is probably the game. Wow. Well, that came out of nowhere. Took me by surprise. Pickford kicks long. Seconds surely left. Surely not enough for one more chance. Unless they get it right here and they move it quickly, Villa. Torres. Buendia. Martinez, sorry. The wrong Emi. Cash challenged. Fairly challenged, and it's going to be a Villa throw. Harrison Armstrong with the challenge. And they want the throw in. They're going to take the throw in. 4 minutes is up. They need to move it quickly, Villa. And they have no time left. The final whistle goes, and a 13-game unbeaten run for Aston Villa against Everton is over. A true David Moyes Everton performance. hard, physical team. And Unai Emery's Aston Villa, after losing John McGinn, really had no answers to that. They looked bright early, but as I said, when they lost John McGinn, they lost real purpose. Even when they did have chances, Villa, Rodgers scrambled quite a number. But it was in the end a mistake from Pau Torres. Emi Martinez made the save on the first one, but he parried it into the path of Tierno Barry, who looped it up and into the back of the Villa net to score the winning goal. He celebrated with his teeth quite glaringly in the way here, but Everton with a big 3 points, a massive 3 points for them, and all 4 teams in the top 4 failing to win this weekend. And all 5 teams at the bottom going without defeat. That is certainly one hell of a weekend. And Aston Villa's 11-game winning run at Villa Park is over too. A day which Everton really needed a victory, and a day where Aston Villa made it tough for themselves at times. But Everton, credit to them, they showed up and performed and put in one hell of a performance and got one hell of a result. Final score at Villa Park is finished Aston Villa 0, Everton 1. And look at that. Their last 3 games, we've seen 1 goal in the last 3 Premier League games that have taken place. 1 more to come. Brighton taking on Bournemouth tomorrow night. And we'll have the full result of that when it's concluded. But we're back in midweek for Champions League football. We'll tell you about that in a moment, because we have to show you what that means for the Premier League table as we conclude match day 22 here on LFS this weekend. So, as Arsenal remain top of the table, they're on 50 points after drawing back-to-back games in the Premier League by a 0-0 scoreline. Their gap is still 7 points after Man City and Villa both lost in their chase for the title. So it means it's still very much hands-on Arsenal, who've extended their gap, funnily enough, this weekend. Liverpool, a 4th successive draw for them in the Premier League means they sit on 36 points after 22 games. Man United on 35. Then come Chelsea on 34. And then Brentford, Newcastle and Sunderland all on 33. And then come the team we've just watched win, Everton, on 32 points. They make up the top half. Into the bottom half, Fulham drop down to 11th on 31. Brighton still to play. They can jump up to the top half with a win tomorrow. They play Bournemouth. They're on 29. Palace on 28. Then comes Spurs on 27. Bournemouth on 26. They have a game still to play as well to Bournemouth. Leeds with a big win. They're on 25, putting themselves even further away from the drop zone. Now 8 clear of the bottom 3 are Leeds, and Forest still 5 clear of the bottom 3, but they're 0-0 draw with Arsenal. And West Ham winning, Burnley drawing, Wolves drawing as well. Remains the same bottom 3, but all 5 of the bottom 5 teams have at least got a point this weekend. 2 wins and 3 draws from those 5 teams. All of them avoiding defeat. But that is it from us this weekend. It's great to have your company. Some great games, some great results, some drama across the weekend too. It was certainly one hell of a weekend in the Premier League, where the momentum has completely swung once again. Somehow, despite drawing 0-0 and doing absolutely nothing, Arsenal extend their gap at the top. Ultimately, Liverpool falter as well at home against Burnley. Villa and Man City failing to win. They both lost, couldn't close the gap when they had the chance to. But ultimately, in the end, all of the bottom 5 remaining unbeaten. What a Premier League weekend. Thanks for your company. We'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.